Welcome everybody to this month's Ascension Community Support Meeting. And tonight I'll be co-hosting with my friend Trish from At Soft Place to Land, who hopefully you can see her beautiful face on here. And I just want to talk a little bit about the energies, and then we're going to get right into a little visualization and do some Q&A. So the energies for the month of March are definitely going to be a continual rebirth process. And by now, I think a lot of us are pretty much getting used to this, but it's really important that we begin to recognize that that's what the ascension is. The ascension is going to be an ongoing process for literally decades and likely even longer. That's a continual surrendering to the truth of who we are. And that's really what it is, right? Because we came into this world and we were programmed right from the day that we were born. So as we're moving forward in this ascension process, we're literally just peeling back the layers of the programs, whether we got them when we were 4 or 10 or 20, or even in our mother's womb, or even from our ancestors' genetics. So the month of March is going to continue this process even deeper. And especially as we get into, I would say around the 17th, 18th, as we go into the 21st, or the 20th and the 21st, which is the official spring equinox, what we get around that time of the year, pretty much every year, but now we're really able to see it for what it is, are basically creation energies. And this was the channeled message that I received the last year. And this is what really purged or began my full awakening. Prior to that, I was very awake and I knew a lot of things, but right around the 20th last year, we received these energies that brought in this wave of gratitude. And then the very next day, gratitude to the point where I was blissfully crying all day. It was beautiful. So I'm not really giving it enough service, but it was this deep sense of profound gratitude where I was able to feel connection to Creator, feel the connection to my angels, feel the connection to my higher self and all of my loved ones to the other side. And then the very next day, it was like I was dropped down. So that's where my real awakening began, with the Kundalini awakening. And that's kind of what we can expect in the month of March. Not to say be dropped down or anything like that, but just be prepared that you're going to receive lots of high vibrational energies. And then what happens is we get brought to such a higher state of consciousness. We're in the higher echelons energetically. And then we have to integrate those energies. And as we integrate energies, that's when the old wounds, the old traumas, the old patterns comes up for another visit. And that's when those emotions, those energies in motion begin to move through us again. So that's what March is going to bring a lot of, and specifically in the middle to the end of the month. So be prepared for that. And it's always best to, of course, always keep doing the work. Just keep doing the work that you can. When you have a day where you're feeling great, take the day off. By all means, enjoy your time, but stick to your journaling. Focus on what it is you are healing and allow yourself to move through the energies and the emotions as best you can. And I would advise to start a little journal on the side and start to just keep notice of how you feel specifically around the solar flares versus the Schumann resonance, because you're going to notice that your body and your emotions are going to need different things, right? Because around the Schumann resonance, we're more, our nervous system is really tweaked and our body is really out of homeostasis. So it can lead to lots of either wanting to sleep a lot and just kind of feeling lethargic and just feeling almost like your computer that's unplugged, kind of like my computer just before I jumped on here. It's like when your computer's unplugged and things just don't want to work. Versus when the solar flares come on, you can actually either feel extremely high and you can be getting downloads and channeled messages and all sorts of really cool stuff, or you can just need to crash in your bed. So it's really start to notice the difference of how your body feels versus for the solar flares versus the Schumann resonance. And always remember, the solar flares hit us, right? We always get the solar flares. And what happens is the earth absorbs them And we have a central sun in Mother Gaia. So the earth and the central sun absorb the energies. And then those energies in the few days later get blasted back out, because that's Mother Gaia's consciousness speaking to us. So we are connected to her consciousness. And as her consciousness expands, we go through another wave with the Schumann resonance blasting as well. So what was happening yesterday? Yes, we had last night, as a matter of fact, we had a Schumann resonance purge. I want to say it was around somewhere between 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and like 2 a.m. So depending on where you live, I'm not sure when it would have hit you, but keep in mind, all of our bodies can respond a little bit differently. Like for me, for example, my body knows the moment a solar flare goes off. My dog knows the moment a Schumann resonance goes off. He gets really bad anxiety attacks. So that's why it's really important to start keeping a little log, a little journal of how these affect you, because they're both going to affect you differently. And that way you can plan your life, you can plan your days, you can recognize what's going to happen, and you can plan what your needs are accordingly. Yes, I know. I'm right there with you. It's hard. And we're going to talk a little bit about that when we get to the Q&A section about there was a question about, or a comment about sleep. And I'm right there with you guys. It is hard sometimes to get some sleep. So when we get to the Q&A, we've got some great questions for that. So right now, I just want to get everybody grounded in. I think pretty much, I don't think anybody else will be joining. I think I've got everybody in here. We're 10 minutes in. So let's just do a little, if you can, just kind of close your eyes, take a nice deep centering breath. I'm going to call in all of our angels and guides, white light of the universe, angels and guides, soul family from the other sides. We invite you into this meeting. We ask for you to please create a sacred space. We ask the white light of the universe to please stream into the homes of everyone who's on this call right now. And we ask for your guidance. We ask for your love to surround us. We ask for your light to fill us. And we ask for your continual renewal and your continued love to guide us as we move through this process. Thank you. And I want to invite everyone to just visualize in your hands that you're holding a bowl. You're holding an energetic bowl. And in this bowl, drop in it everything and anything that's bothering you right now. Could be that bill that needs to be paid, that loved one you need to care for, that relationship you're having issues with. Maybe you're not really sure where you're going to be next month, or have a health issue. Whatever it is, just drop it into this energetic bowl. There's no need to hold on to it right now. And we're simply going to offer it up to our angels. Your angels are right above you, and they're going to take this from you. So offer this bowl up to your angels and allow them to take your worries away. There's no need to hold on to those. The more we can get in the practice of handing over whatever it is that concerns us or worries us to our angels and our creator, the easier our life can be, because we weren't meant to carry those burdens. We were simply meant to allow ourselves to be guided forward and let the emotions, the energies in motion, guide us to what it is we're supposed to be doing. Now take a nice deep centering breath. Visualize a cord running from your heart, going right down through your feet, going right into the center of the earth, connecting with Mother Gaia, right in her center, right to the center, the central sun. And now feel this energy streaming up from this cord right to your heart, illuminating you from the inside out, knowing you are fully grounded, fully protected. And visualize white light of the universe streaming down from the heavens, pouring into your crown chakra, filling your mind. Feels like nice warm honey going down your throat, filling up into your heart area, into your abdomen, your hips, all the way down your legs, connecting with that cord to Mother Gaia, and also going right to the center of Mother Gaia. because you, beautiful soul, are an anchor for the light. That's what you do here. You anchor in the light from Creator. We all work together for this. And now if you can say out loud where you are, or if not, just think these words in your head. I am grounded to the earth. I am centered in my mind. I am living in alignment with my soul. I am connected to the galactic center and all of life. It is safe for me to know, grow, and remember the truth of who I am for the betterment of myself and all of humanity. And so it is. It is done. And now just take a nice deep centering breath. Bring your awareness back to your, and know that we are safe, we are centered. And tonight, I am going to introduce you to someone very special. She is the person who is always helping me behind the scenes. She is my go-to gal for when I have anything I need to talk about. And she is going to be my co-host for these community calls moving forward, as well as the community support platform that we are planning that we will touch on a little bit later. So I'm really excited to introduce you to my friend Trish from At Soft Place to Land. And she's going to be leading us in a beautiful guided meditation later. So here she is. I'm going to hand the floor over to Trish and welcome her. She is the love of my life. Here she is.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for starting that off so beautifully, Krystina. I feel so grounded here with everyone. As I entered the chat, I could feel the collective energy from everyone. There's such a beautiful group of people that are here together tonight. Can everybody hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Yeah? It's interesting because whenever I have really good internet where I live, but for whatever reason, whenever we seem to get together with a lot of powerful people, we really seem to notice some internet disruptions or some technology issues. So if there is any issues, please just be patient with us. But I wanted to thank you all for joining us tonight. Something that I have found truly transformative during my journey is having the support, whether it be in the small group that I have a little sisters chat with a couple of my girlfriends that live here in Mexico with me. And even if I'm just navigating a difficult day or sharing something to celebrate or asking for my sisters to hold a powerful vision with me, having community is so incredibly supportive. And so that's something that has been truly so important to both Krystina and I, is really connecting with like-minded souls, supporting one another, holding each other's hands, because I know we can feel so incredibly alone. And I think what's important for both of us is just to truly remind each and every one of you that you are not alone, that we are all walking this journey together. And that's why we are going to be launching a community platform that is donation-based so that we can support you outside of these community calls. And Krystina has been absolutely incredible at providing updates in terms of what energy we're navigating. And we want to be able to take that to another level. So we're going to be launching quite a few. Basically, the big seed for both of us is community. So I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight, and everyone who is here on the replay. We will be recording this and posting this to Krystina's YouTube channel. And we also want, obviously, this is a community support call, guys. So if you have any questions, if there's any questions that you have about symptoms that you're experiencing, yeah, put them in the chat. Let us know how you're feeling. If you have any questions about how you can navigate these symptoms or how you can support people in your circle, your loved ones, let us know. We'll take some time a little bit later. We are going to address some questions that have come up, whether it be on your personal Instagram posts that you've been posting. I have noticed quite a few people have, it's almost like similar symptoms, like whether it be, dizziness or trouble with their vision. This transition for people has been activating them in different ways, but there is a common trend. So I don't know if maybe Krystina, you can hop into a little bit of that, like answering while we're waiting. If anybody that's joined us tonight does have any questions, in the meantime, just answering some of the questions that have popped up on your social media and common symptoms. So, like, I've noticed the past couple of months, a lot of people having vision issues, dizziness, headaches, a lot of stuff happening up here. Can you like share a little bit about what's going on with the ears, with the mind, dreams, sleeping, all of the things?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a ton going on, as you guys know. We are being activated majorly, and as we receive these energies in, they come primarily in through our crown chakra, and our brains are changing, guys. Like literally, our brains are changing, guys. And I know that can sound a little bit strange, but trust me when I tell you, our brains are actually being rewired. That's why sometimes, if you ever notice, you might forget stuff. Like you might do something yesterday and then completely forget what it was today. It's because what's happening as we move through these timelines, and I'll try to answer them as succinctly as possible. But as we move through these consciousness timelines, because that's what they are, it's, this reality is based on our consciousness co-creating it. So we literally, our consciousness, your brains, your consciousness that's outside of your body, because it's way out here, it's not just in here. This consciousness that's all around you is so powerful that it's able to literally rearrange particles, subatomic particles. So while you're not able to physically see that, and this is the stuff I'm able to see with my abilities, we're surrounded with everything's always vibrating. And these subatomic particles are constantly shifting their reality. And as our consciousness is upgrading in timelines, which what that basically means is the more you are able to work through those programs and issues and anything that was holding you back from being your highest version of self, the more you're able to basically sync up with your highest self and your highest timeline, then your reality around you is going to shift. So it's not so much that you forgot what happened yesterday, it's that it doesn't matter to today because it doesn't matter anymore. It's kind of like watching one of those trippy time lapse movies, right? And our vision is actually changing. So something that was shown to me is how our vision actually has to, it's not so much that this reality is happening, it's that our vision is seeing what it is that we're creating. That's how reality works. And I know that that's really trippy to try to understand, unless you're maybe doing shrooms or something, then it probably makes perfect sense. But the reality is we create this reality with our consciousness, and your eyes are seeing what you're creating up here. That's how manifestation works. That's why the more you're able to create it up here, get attached to it with an emotion. So think it, feel it, and then it will happen for you. But you have to think it and feel it to the point where it's real. And as far as the hearing, our vestibular system is also shifting, because as we're raising in frequency, and your vestibular system is basically your inner ear canal, as we're raising in frequency, everything is shifting. You can't see this, but we're literally surrounded by scalar waves. We're surrounded by waves of energy that kind of go like this. This goes under string theory with Stephen Hawking's. There's strings of energies, and floating in those waves of energy are the subatomic particles. So as we're raising in consciousness and as our frequency is going up, your vestibular system has to adjust to the new frequencies. And you might notice that you're hearing or like these little mosquito noises in your ears. I know it's driving me absolutely freaking cuckoo sometimes, especially every time we get these solar flares. And for me, what happens is I get really high. Literally, I feel like I'm high. And then I receive all sorts of channeled messages, downloads, visions, to the point where it's almost overwhelming. And then as I'm coming down from that, when my frequency is going up, my hearing is now able to hear at another pitch, because even though you can't hear it, the universe is always making noise, right? A lot of us remember possibly from the Bible how the first thing that was the universe was made with sound. Everything's made with sound. That's because the sound is what blasts out the scalar waves that manage the subatomic particles. So all of this is being rearranged around you. That's what ascension is. We are ascending in consciousness, and the physicality of who we are has to catch up with it. And it's a process. This isn't something that's, there's a lot of fault flight teachers out there who are going to tell you that we're going to snap and things are just going to shift. It's not going to happen like that. That's not how this works. It's a slow, ongoing process that's going to take multiple generations. And we're going to see the bulk of it, yes, likely within the next 5 to 10 years. but it's going to continue on for multiple generations. And this is actually going to be an ongoing process. It's going to take thousands of years. I've seen the prophecy of what humanity is supposed to be, which is absolutely beautiful. And that's for another conversation. But this is an ongoing process. Your loved ones aren't going anywhere. You aren't going anywhere. We are all ascending together. Things will shift and you might forget what you did yesterday and you might kind of have a new reality today, but it's not going to be as if things just disappear for you one day. And I think, was that all of the physical questions? I think I got them all.
I think what really resonates with me and what I'm receiving is to really just hold compassion for yourself as you're experiencing these symptoms, with an understanding that it's much deeper than just a physical symptom. It's like an alarm bell or your body's way of letting you know that you're upgrading. And when you're able to do that, you can have so much more self-compassion and allow yourself to release.
Yes.
Oh, my dogs agree.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's key. And our nervous system is key too, because your nervous system has to integrate all of these energies. The nervous system takes in the energies. It's basically like electricity, takes it in just like wires do in your wall. And then the electricity goes into your endocrine system, which is your hormonal system. So your pituitary, your pineal, your thymus, all of your reproductive organs. That's why a lot of women ask about their periods being heavier. In fact, yes, they can be heavier. They can be more painful, because our endocrine systems are changing as well. Everything is changing. And then the endocrine system begins to create new neuropeptides, which is what basically leads you to feeling your emotions. So the more emotions you have buried in your body, especially ancestrally, the more you're going to have emotions come up that make no freaking sense whatsoever. And you're just like, why am I feeling so intensely angry or so intensely sad? It could be because your grandfather's grandfather went through something deeply traumatic and it's coming out of your bones, of your hormones, of your blood. And just to speak on the blood for a moment, for the ladies out there, our blood, it carries our life force energy. And this is a question I get a lot in my DMs. So our blood carries our life force energy, all of us, men and women. When we, as women, when we go through something traumatic, when we are going through a deep purging of emotional trauma, and I can speak, I'm thinking of specifically, I worked with a woman months ago who had, she was sexually abused for a very long time. And we got to the other side of it, and her periods got so heavy and so extremely painful. And what it is because her blood was carrying all of that pain, all of those peptides, which is what actually creates the emotions within your body, were being released through her blood. So if you're having a heavy period, especially after you just purge some deep emotions, it's completely normal. What I always recommend is turn it into a ritual. Talk to your blood. And I know that might sound weird to some people out there, and I apologize to the guys if this is too much, but it is what it is. Talk to your blood. Talk to your blood and ask your blood to let go of the pain. Ask your body to please let all of the pain go into your blood. So take advantage of your periods and your menstrual cycles to let this trauma go from your ancestors. And if anybody's having deep issues with that, of course, that's stuff that I help with in session, is to get these energies out from our ancestors, from our past and parallel lives, and from our current lives as well. Yeah, so period was late right before this call. Yeah, it can be all over the place. So it really does depend on where you are in whatever it is you're navigating. So I'm trying to think, what other questions come up, Trish?
Well, I know a few people, and I just want to mention, Molly mentioned something so beautiful. She's
Yeah.
been one of my go-to girls, and you were mentioning a little bit about the power of our vision. And when I was processing something the other day, I reached out to my girl Molly, and she shared with me that, and it's a powerful reminder for each and every one of you here, how powerful you are and how powerful that vision that you can hold within your mind's eye truly is. And that's why the practice of meditation and visualization can really support you and those around you as you're navigating these transitions. Because if you lead into the fear and you're spending too much time there, then you're actually potentially manifesting and spending too much time growing that thought, right? Instead of leaning more into the vision of love and asking those in your circle to hold that vision of love with you, because that's what can be more powerful. So, and even as you were sharing about, our fluids that leave our body, something that you shared with me is when, and I encourage anyone, even during the meditation, if any emotions come up later, and you do shed some tears, that it's like there's medicine in that, and those fluids that are leaving your body. So if you find yourself in deep emotion, see those fluids that are leaving your body as a form of medicine, and take those tears and taste those tears and see it as a form of medicine that's going to help clear those energies through your body, instead of holding them stagnant. Because when we hold those emotions within our body, that's when we're manifesting illness unknowingly. So I just really wanted to touch on, like, not only for the women that are experiencing a menstrual cycle and releasing that, life force energy. A good girlfriend of mine actually gives that life force energy right back to her plants, and she finds that it really flourishes all of her plants. So if you can think of that within your own garden, within your own body, how you can feed that medicine into yourself as well. So one of the other symptoms that quite a few people are mentioning in the chat, as well as I know in your comments, something I've been navigating, I know you have too, as we've been chatting, is sleep. Sleep has been, I feel like I woke up this morning, I was like, does anybody actually wake up feeling energized and like refreshed for a new day? Or is everyone like me, where it feels like their mind starts to go when it's time for sleep? And when it's time to be awake is when we feel like we want to be sleeping. So I know quite a few people have mentioned whether it's, not getting enough sleep, only getting 3-4 hours, dreams being super active. Is that another activation, or is that a symptom from the solar flares? What comes to you when it comes to like supporting ourselves and our bodies through sleep?
Yeah, that's multiple things. And yeah, sleep is something that as we go through this ascension process, we have to learn to navigate differently. And I wish there was an easy answer. I wish there was an easy one size fits all answer, but there's really not. And that's why a couple things, I do have some definitely tips to offer you. Like I said earlier, start just keeping notes, even if it's just on a little sticky pad next to your coffee machine or your teapot, whatever. Notice how you're feeling with the Schumann resonance versus the flares, because there's going to be a difference, and you want to take advantage. Like the Schumann resonance for me, for example, I find that I sleep really well. So when we have the Schumann resonance, I'm like, yep, I'm all about my naps, baby, because that's when I'm catching up on some sleep, and that's when I allow my body to really catch up on the rest. Versus when we're having the solar flares, and that's why I try to post the solar flare activity is like, if we know something's going to hit us, I try to post it as quickly as possible, because if we know we're going to get heightened solar plasmic activity tomorrow, for example, then we know we probably need to get to bed early tonight, because we might not sleep so well tomorrow night. So you really want to pay attention to how your body's navigating with both. Pay attention to the reports, whether it be from my page or other pages, because there's a lot of beautiful souls out there who offer energy updates. So whoever you feel comfortable with, by all means, just try to get ahead of it and know how your body responds, and plan your life. Like, for example, if you know we're going to have heightened solar flare activity for the next 3 or 4 days, because they'll usually tell us, and that's when I'll usually hop on and report it right away. They'll say something like there's a 60% chance of M class and a 20% chance of X class. And when you hear a report like that for the next few days or something, then you want to plan your next few days and say, well, you know what, I might not get that much sleep, so let me plan my social life or my work life accordingly, so that I can take naps during the day, so that I can be alone, so that I can set boundaries. That's really the key. And then also managing it with your nutrition. And you guys know me well enough to know I just shoot it like it is. When we're having really high solar flare activity, I eat everything and anything. Like, I am hungry, and I just have to eat everything and anything in order to stay grounded in my body. That's how I work. And again, you want to take notes for how you work. But what I'm getting at is nutrition is a way to manage these. So if you find that eating a lot helps you during the solar flare activity, so that you can be more present in your body, so that you can get some sleep, then I would suggest you that. Maybe you're the opposite, and maybe you find that you can't eat that much because you don't feel that good, and then that helps you sleep. So again, pay attention to what your body needs are, and just be aware that also they may change, because as we move through this process, and as your subatomic particles begin to speed up in frequency, because of what's happening is as you're purging out those emotions, those energies, emotions. So maybe you have some shame trapped here, maybe you have some guilt trapped up here, and you purge out these emotions during this round of solar flares. The next round of solar flares might feel a little bit different for you. So just pay attention to how your body is responding each time, to adjust accordingly. I always recommend during the solar flare activities, during the daytime, to eat, even if you eat a lot, eat light foods like vegetables, fruits, those kinds of things if you're not able to sleep at night. Because if you're not able to sleep at night, you don't want to bog down your system during the day. You want to keep your system revved up so you can go throughout the day. And then at the end of the day is when you want to eat your root vegetables, your clean meats, even some processed food if that's going to help you sleep. And I only say if, because I know for some people, depending on where you are in your journey, processed foods can help you go to sleep because they lower your vibration, but you want to eventually get away from them. So remember, I said that you want to eventually get away from them, but initially, if that's what you need, then that's what you need. Resonant breathing. I find this is really, really key. And of course, there's all sorts of breath work out there. Resonance breathing specifically helps the body return to what's called homeostasis. Homeostasis is where our body feels the most comfortable. Resonant breathing is when you breathe 5 seconds in through your nose, 5 seconds out through your nose. And you want to, so it's about 6 breaths per minute, right? Because that's how it works out exactly. So I would recommend absolutely, if you can't sleep, and this always helps me knock right out. If you can't sleep, put on a little timer or put on some frequency music. I always recommend like 528 or 963, or even something from the root chakra that's going to help you to stay grounded, meaning a root hertz frequency. That will help you be in your body. And then just lie there and do some resonance breathing, which again, 5 seconds in through the nose, 5 seconds out through the nose. This is not like Wim Hof. This isn't any type of neuropeptide release breath. This is just basic breathing that allows the body to know that it's safe. This is what helps the nervous system and the respiratory within your body return to its natural homeostasis. And when you're in that homeostasis, your body can rest better. Now, if you still can't sleep, what I recommend, and this is what I do, and this is what I always recommend for people that I work with, keep on some sort of frequency or fan noise and just continue to lie in bed. Just lie there and allow yourself to go into a meditative state, because what happens is we're going in and out of theta. Theta is the brain wave where you are manifesting. Theta is the brain waves we're in just before we go to sleep. And that's the key brain waves for manifestation. So even if you can't sleep and you're just lying there and you're allowing yourself to be in this theta brainwave manifestation type of cycle within your mind, and daydream about what you want in a month, in 6 months, in a year. What do you want your life to look like? What do you want the world to look like? And allow yourself to get caught up in daydreaming. You're going to at least feel rested when you get up. And for those of you who, because I know some people have this as well, where the nervous system just feels like it's shaking inside of you, right? And that's the worst, honestly. Like that's when I have to just get right up out of bed, put on something and just shake your whole body. And I mean shake. Put on a timer for like 10 minutes and just shake your body like crazy. And then I often will also take just a quick warm shower and then go right back to bed. There have been some nights where I'll take 2 and 3 showers, and then that at least helps me get back to sleep for like an hour or two so that I can function the rest of the next day. But remember, your body is changing. Your endocrine system, which is your body's basically thermostat. Your endocrine system runs all of your body's functions. So your endocrine system is upgrading and changing. As your endocrine system is purging, that's your pituitary, your pineal, that's your thyroid, your thymus, all of your glands in your body. They're what help you sleep. So we're going to go through phases where we're not going to sleep as well. And I wish that I could offer you different news. The only news I can really offer you is to learn your coping mechanisms and learn to plan your days in ways where if you didn't get much sleep, you can at least, take a little nap or siesta or put your feet up or something and get outside and ground as much as possible. Electrons are key. And I'll kick it back to Trish now.
Absolutely. I think that was really beautiful, Krystina, beautiful guidance. And I think it really just comes down to, again, surrendering, right? And having that self-awareness of what is it that's disturbing my sleep? Is it reoccurring thoughts? Is it worries about tomorrow? And how can you navigate those in a way that can support you so that you can then get into that deep sleep, right? So is it incorporating practices where you have, your evening routine is mapping out the next day so that you can put those worries for tomorrow to bed along with your physical vessel? Is it downloads that you're receiving? Are you in this manifestation, beautiful state where you're really like having a lot of visions and downloads and your mind is more active in the evening? And if you don't have the flexibility to like, take those siestas the next day and to take some naps and recharge your body, like sometimes I'm like, okay, well, if I'm wide awake right now, I might as well get up and do my work now and then sleep in tomorrow and really like, navigate my schedule around when I'm feeling good. I love the idea that you shared about keeping a journal and kind of recognizing. I think it's so powerful to recognize patterns, right? So the solar flares are doing this, or there's this happening. And someone asked as well, maybe you can share with us, obviously I know you are constantly, like you said, this is the thing that I love about Krystina, everyone, is that when she gets an update, when she knows that there's something going on, it doesn't matter. She's like, you see the bigger picture of this needs to get out there right now because I know it's going to help people. And I love that about you. I love that like nothing holds you back. You're like every bit, if I'm feeling like this, chances are someone else is. And then you research what's going on with the energies, and then you provide us the support online. But if someone, wants to look into researching this on their own, or if they're wanting to understand these solar flares, obviously they can come to your page and trust that, if you're feeling something, go to Krystina's page and chances are she's got something up there to help you understand what's going on. And most days I go on and I'm like, wow, that's exactly how I'm feeling. So you kind of have that reassurance, that ability to really allow you to surrender to it and go with the flow of it. But if people want to research this a little bit more on their own, where can they find these updates in terms of like the solar flares, the Schumann resonance? Where can we find this on our own?
I will tell you a couple of my sources. And I wish I don't know how to copy and paste this. All right. So if you guys have a pen and paper, for the Schumann resonance, and here it's a Russian link. So just take a pen and paper and jot this down. HTTP, and then the double dot, // SOSRFF dot tsu.ru /reverse page _ID = 7. That's the Schumann resonance. And then you have to, that's where you find that. That's out of Russian, that's out of Tomsk, Russia. And there are other ones as well, but that's where I find the most reliable. For the solar weather, it's the NOAA website. So www.swpc.noaa.gov/homepage. And then you can also look up space weather, literally spaceweather.com. And you really have to learn how to read these things to some degree. And then on top of it, keep in mind that for me, I received channeled information on how it all works as well. So that's kind of more helpful. But for the solar weather, and then there's this other one that I really like, earthsky.org.
We'll put these all in when we post this on YouTube. Thank you so much, Annette, for
Thank you, Annette.
We'll
yeah.
in the notes on the YouTube as well.
There's this other one that I really love. It's called earthsky.org. And they do a great detailed information. And that's great for somebody who's really wanting to learn how to read it, because they give you the last 24 hours, the next 24 hours, they do a whole video. And it's super, super helpful. So, and literally, even if you just go to Google and just type in solar flares, you're going to have so many options pop up. But those are the ones I use. And I actually have a little, I've saved them in my phone. So I just Google them. I just go on real quickly and I'm able to find them. And yes, that's the one in Russia. Thank you, Annette. Yeah, that's how you find those. And like I said, if you get channeled information, then that's going to help you to go look. But other than that, really learn to pay attention to your body, pay attention to your animals. My dog is who lets me know that the Schumann resonance is about to kick off. In fact, yesterday he had terrible anxiety. I didn't feel it because I don't always notice the Schumann resonance as much. I just get a little bit tired, which is kind of like my normal a lot of the times right now. So, but when my dog gets that terrible anxiety, I know to look up the Schumann resonance, and it's always off of the charts. So, and I just wanted to add on to also what Trish was saying, because she said about, you're welcome. She said about, if you can't get something off your mind, write it down, or put it on a pad before bed. I just want to share with you guys, because here's the truth of it. We're all psychics. It is it's the natural state of the human being to be a psychic. So when you see people online, whether it be me, someone else, channels, people who can see clairvoyantly or hear, you guys all have the same abilities. That's what's happening. That's exactly what this whole process is bringing online for you. So I'm saying that because the way mine began to be activated were during the solar flares back in 2021, which you guys might not have felt them, but I certainly was feeling them then. I would be kept up all night long.
Mm-hmm.
It was about a 3 or 4 day window of time where I thought I was losing my mind because I was just so sleep deprived. I couldn't do anything. I had to call out of work. I was a mess. But one night I just started writing down what I was seeing, because what was happening was I was seeing, it was specifically a bureau in my room. I kept seeing it being formed into matter and then unformed into matter, formed into matter and then unformed into matter. And of course, I mean with my third eye. And so I started writing down what I was seeing. And what was happening is that's when I started channeling. So if you're going through phases where you can't sleep and you're having all of these excessive thoughts and visions or hearing things or maybe sensations in your body, again, start writing them down. Learn how your biological technology works, because your human body is a biological spacesuit for your soul. And the more you can learn to activate and work your biological spacesuit, the more your soul can communicate to you, because that's all psychic abilities are. Psychic abilities, no matter how they work, is your soul communicating to you through your body, whether it be through vision or clairaudience or clairsentience or whatever it is. So if you can't sleep, and if you really are just feeling stressed out or having all these thoughts or feelings, start writing them down, start taking notice of them, because it might be your soul trying to speak to you. And we've got to learn to listen. And that's the hardest part as humans, because we're so used to, I got to get up at 9 o'clock. I got to go to work. I got to get my coffee. I got to take my dog out. I got to get my kids to school, instead of going, okay, God, what are you trying to say to me? And what we really need to do is start tuning out of our reality sometimes and tune up here. And that's what these solar flares, that's the gift of these solar flares and the Schumann resonance and all of it, is that's your higher self. That's God, whatever name you're comfortable using, trying to communicate with you. And the more you can learn to listen and learn how you are being communicated with, because they don't send a text message. It would be great if they did, but they don't. You got to learn how to figure out how all of this works. And it's not easy. And that's, again, this is something I do in session. And this is what my mentorship is all about, is helping you to learn how your technology works. But the more you can learn how to function work your technology, the easier this is going to be for you. And then you're going to be helping other people go through this process as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's also really important, like you said, that if you're receiving these downloads and these beautiful ideas, and whether it be writing or opening your phone and leaving yourself a voice note, or however it is that you need to capture these thoughts that are coming to you. But also, if you're finding that it's disturbing your sleep, I find that for myself, I can oftentimes, and we've talked about this on one of our Instagram lives before, is if we're not carving out time within our waking hours, that when we're in that dream state and we're in between realms, it's the easiest time for our guides and our angels and God and your higher self to really speak to you. So it doesn't, like, and I know so many of us are so busy. We're moms, we're friends, we're workers, like we have so much going on in our days. And Molly's saying yes. And it's just about carving out that time and setting the intention, whether it's while you're washing your dishes or having a shower. Water is so powerful. And if you just say aloud and set the intention that I am ready to receive whatever messages need to come through to me today. I do a lot of support work with people, spiritual entrepreneurs, with their online presence. And something that I often share with people is it's not about you. It's about whatever message needs to come through to be received by the person on the other end. So remove yourself from the equation, really connect with your higher self. Your guides, your spirit team are all here to help you. But when you're not really giving them the time, they're kind of like trying to knock on the door when you're in that dream state, because that's the easiest way for them to come in. So if you're finding that your sleep disturbance is coming to you because your mind is busy, again, if it's to do things in the next day, I highly recommend spending some time, and it can be a beautiful practice. You can get really creative and artistic with it, creating a nice to-do list for yourself for the next day so you can really release all of those chores from your mind, but also setting that time and that attention, whether it's, again, while you're washing the dishes, you're going for a walk, you're meditating, you're doing yoga. Whenever you can open up that channel to your higher self and your team and spirit is going to allow you, so that then when you're in that peaceful, restful state and they're trying to knock on your door, you can say, hang on a second, I need time to rest right now. Can you please allow my vessel to rest, and I will be ready to receive messages from you tomorrow. But really giving the time and the dedication that your team deserves, because you are extremely powerful and your message needs to be heard from people on the other end. So dedicate that time that you can, your team and spirit, in your waking hours. And I can almost promise you that your sleep will be just a little bit better. And like Krystina said, I think a big message in today is surrender, right? So if you're finding that you're not able to sleep, if you've tried all of the things, everybody here knows so many powerful tools and techniques that we can use to support ourselves. And going back a little bit to even, whether it be astrology or the Schumann resonance or the solar flares, I think, we can explore all these different things. And I think for me, what it often gives me is reassurance, and it helps me not feel alone. Like, okay, I'm not the only one feeling this way. Okay, it's a shared experience with other people. We're all activating, we're all leveling up, we're all here to support each other. But also, I think what's really important is just setting the time to check in with yourself, right? Like, you can use these other sources, again, the Schumann resonance, the solar flares, and see patterns on how you're feeling, but also using, and Krystina taught me a while ago when we first started working together, a really powerful technique. Maybe she can spend some time sharing it with us today. And it's really just checking in with yourself, guys. Like, you are so incredibly powerful, and your intuition, when it's like a muscle, when we're listening to it, when we're really tuning into it and asking ourselves, do I want to eat this, or do I want to eat this? Do I want to listen to this spiritual teacher, or do I want to really spend time in meditation with my guides? When we can really learn to tap into our intuition, we can use it as such a powerful tool. And it's like a muscle. We can activate it and grow it, and it can be the most powerful tools to support you through your ascension. So I don't know, Krystina, do you think maybe we can share with everyone that it's a
the yes, no, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm so happy that you brought that up, because again, there's so much going on right now. So the key right now, guys, is to remember that each and every one of you, are one of the antennas for God, for your higher self, for creator source. So your sole job right now is to learn how you work. And one of the best ways you can do that is to learn what's your yes and what's your no, so that you can know how your intuition is communicating with you. So I'm going to give you a really simple exercise right now that you can practice. And I do recommend practicing this daily while you're driving or just doing whatever. Like Trish said, even when you're about to eat something, check in with your body. Maybe if your friends invite you out, but you're not sure if you want to go, this is great. Maybe if you see a spiritual teacher online and you're like, I don't know if this person's good or bad, because there's a lot of false prophets out there, guys, and they're dark lighters. And so you want to make sure you're checking in with your intuition to make sure that you're spot on with your God, right? Your higher self. So real simple. This is only going to take a few minutes, but take a nice deep centering breath. Nice big exhale. Take one more. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. And I want you to hold an image of something that you would absolutely say no to in your mind. Nothing terrible. Maybe a food that you don't like, or bad weather that you don't enjoy, or a bad experience that wasn't too terrible. Hold this image in your mind. Get a very clear picture, or hold a memory of it, whatever it is for you. Not everybody has visions. So if it's a memory, then that's fine. But just hold this memory or image in your mind right now. And now what you're going to do is simply scan your body. And what you're going to do this just by noticing how you feel from head all the way to toe. Notice where in your body you might feel something. It might be a cold sensation, a warming sensation, a kind of an icky sensation, whatever it is for you. Oftentimes people have it in different places. There's no right or wrong spot. So don't overthink it. Just notice where this no feeling is in your body. Memorize it. Take a mental snapshot of it. And now shake it out, because we don't want to hold it on forever. So shake it out. Were you guys able to find find something? Was everybody able to find something? Okay.
Yeah.
And now we're going to find out what our yes is. So that's your no. So remember that. And now let's find out what our yes is. So now hold an image. And by the way, if you ever teach this to somebody, take it from me. You want to have them do the no first and the yes later, because you don't want to have them leaving on the no. So let's do the yes now. So hold an image of something really awesome in your mind, something that makes you go like, yes. Could be your favorite food, your favorite outfit, your favorite pet. Nothing that leaves you feeling sad, but just something that leaves you feeling like, yes, this is awesome. Hold this image in your mind or the memory. And when you get a clear image of it, again, scan your body and notice what this sensation is like. It's usually, for most people, it's somewhere different, and it's something slightly different. And then go ahead and shake it out. Were you guys able to find a yes image in your mind? Any questions on that? I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'm thinking everybody got it. So that's your yes and that's your no. I would practice this daily. And keep in mind, this can change, because once again, you guys, we're antennas for God, source, creator, higher selves, white light of the universe. Again, whatever words you're comfortable with, plug them in. We are antennas. So as your antenna is turning on more and more and more, your technology is going to heighten, it's going to change, it's going to shift. So again, be open to changing, be open to shifting, and be aware that there's nothing wrong with it. We're supposed to evolve through this process. That's what the ascension is all about. But get to know your yeses and nos and use them on the daily for everything you're doing. I have actually used this technique getting lost in back roads. When I used to live in Connecticut, I would just take a right on a road and get lost somewhere on a mountainside. And I would be like, all right, higher self, we're going to practice this. And that's kind of how I honed my skills. And it's actually helped me a lot of times when my GPS goes a little kooky and my GPS doesn't know where I am, because now I live in Asheville and I have no idea where I am half the time. I use my intuition, and I get do I go left or right? And they'll say, do I go right? And I'll get a yes, okay. And I'll go right, and then it's the right way. Or if I say I get a no, and then I still go, then it always takes me in the wrong turn if I hit a no. I follow it anyway. So it does work. I encourage you to practice it. And I think I just want to talk quickly, and then I'm going to hand it back over to Trish. I just want to once again touch on the energies of March, guys, because March is going to be all about, I live in Asheville, North Carolina. March is going to be all about rebirth. And remember, like we talked about in the beginning of this call, and that's why I want to mention this before we go into Trish's meditation that she planned, that's so beautiful. March is going to be a rebirth month around the 21st, which is the equinox, 2021st, depending on, of course, who you talk to and what calendar you're looking at. We're going to feel an energetic surge, and we're going to start getting more heightened solar activity towards the middle and end of the month as well. So that's going to leave everything feeling even more extenuated. So just be aware of that. You might have more emotions come up, because every time you have those negative emotions come up, it's so that you can make room for the positive. So it's like you've got to let those go to let in the positive. So let those energies move through you and allow yourself to surrender to this process. Remember, this is an unfolding into the truth of who you are. And that's what the ascension is really all about. We're ascending in consciousness to remember who we are, because most of us know by now we came to Earth with this fun contractual agreement to forget who we were. But in fact, you do go through a process of ascending where you begin to remember who you are, but you have to forget the programs of who you've been. And that's the pain of the emotions moving through you. That's why all of that anger, sadness, grief, but really you've got to let it move through you. You've got to feel it to heal it, journal it. You can always make an appointment with somebody like Trish or myself, or if you have friends or the community, like we're going to have the community up soon for you guys. but get it out and know that you're not alone. You're never alone with the entire world is going through this, even people who aren't aware of it. I get asked that all the time. Well, this guy down the street seems fine. She seems fine. Trust me when I tell you, if you were to talk to them behind closed doors, they probably are not fine. They're just better at putting on that facade because it hasn't quite hit them that deep yet. But at some point, everybody does go through this process. So, and March is going to be all about rebirthing into the truth of who you are. And I promise you that who you are is absolutely freaking amazing and beautiful. So allow yourself to let go of those programs, let go of those egos, and embrace who you are, embrace the soul of who you are, and allow that essence to begin to move through you. And with that, I will hand it over to Trish so she can introduce her beautiful meditation that she has planned for you guys.
Thank you, Krystina. I also want to share how that exercise that Krystina just shared with us about tapping into our intuition, listening to our internal compass of the yes and the no, when we use that, we can really use it as a navigation system for our life. So even if a lot of people I know, oftentimes Krystina receives this message from the community is, well, what about my loved ones? What's going to happen with them? Or what's going to happen with people that aren't maybe feeling or thinking the same way that we are, don't have the same belief systems as us? Something that I find really, really powerful, again, going back to holding that vision, is the vision of your mind. But if you're around people that are really wrapped up in negative stinking thinking, is to excuse yourself. And just like Krystina taught you to shake off that no, to excuse yourself to the bathroom and shake it off like an animal. Like when an animal gets into, when my dogs start playing and scrapping with one another, they both will shake it off. And when you're around somebody who has stinking thinking, or if you just listen to something on social media that really leaves you, again, feeling that no within your body and not that heaven yes in your body, shake it off. Don't hold it in your system. Let it go. And let that intuitive compass within you guide you to your community, guide you to your heaven yeses and away from your heaven nos. And as Krystina shared, this meditation that I've pre-recorded for you, because if you don't know, I have 3 dogs that at this hour of night, they tend to be a little bit more vocal. So I pre-recorded this meditation, and really the vision that I hold for each and every one of you as you're going through this journey with us is to really release the old stories, the old conditioning, the old beliefs that maybe have been programmed within you from experiences that you've had. And those experiences are really important they've made you who you are, but we can't bypass those experiences. And I know that oftentimes we want to leap right into the love and light and we want to go right towards the high vibrational feeling. But otherwise, if we don't actually process them, then they get trapped in our bodies. And so going back to, like, if some tears come up, if some emotions come up, and, this meditation is obviously pre-recorded, and I will be posting it both on Krystina's YouTube and my own. If you want to listen back to it and pause it and really allow yourself the time to sit with that emotion for longer, if you need that time to sit with it for longer, to fully allow it to go through you, to come from where it's been hidden and to be released within your body so that you can embrace this new version of yourself. Oftentimes we leap right towards this butterfly stage. And I know I've been in this cocoon since I feel like 2022, 2023. And I'm finally starting to feel like I'm ready to emerge into this butterfly stage of my life. But I wouldn't fast forward through it. It's been so important for me to embrace those wounds, to embrace the medicine that I've received, and to really take it as knowledge and wisdom to support me in propelling me forward. So that maybe it's not for everyone, but I feel like each and every one of us holds a special recipe to be able to support each other. So if our loved ones aren't where we are right now, there's going to come a time that their hand's going to be outreached and yours is going to be there to guide them through. So I invite everyone to get into a nice, comfortable place. You can turn your cameras off. Again, when you're listening to this meditation, if you feel the need to take some additional time in any portion of the meditation, please feel free to do so. You can listen back to it. We will have it available for you on YouTube. so that you can really pause. And again, reminding you that those tears are medicine. So if you feel an emotion coming up, allow yourself, give yourself full permission. Krystina and I are going to be offering some energy work for you throughout the meditation, and my dogs. So I invite you all to just take a moment, get into a comfortable place, and I will start the meditation for you. Before we begin our journey, I want to invite you to find a quiet space. A space where you can surrender to the present moment, to quiet your mind, and connect with your breath. Take some time to get comfortable here. Gently closing your eyes and inviting a sense of peace to wash over you. Take a moment to let go of the outside world and bring your awareness to your breath. Inhale deeply through your nose, feeling the air fill your lungs, and exhale through your mouth, letting out an audible sigh as you release any tension or stress. Let's take another beautiful breath in through the nose and release that breath out through the mouth. Connect with the rhythm of your breath, making each inhale and exhale mindful and soothing. Let your body soften, sinking into the support beneath you. Feeling held and supported here, I invite you now to let your mind paint a picture of a beautiful and magnificent library. The entrance of the library is bathed in soft light, inviting you to step inside. As you take a deep breath in through your nose, you notice the air is infused with the scent of ancient books. Take a moment to connect with this scent as you look around, observing the titles and colors of the books. You recognize that each book represents a chapter in your life. These are the stories of your experiences, your journeys, your relationships, and your memories. Feeling safe here, you sense the light within intensify, with a deep knowing that you have entered a realm where old stories are shed, offering you the knowledge and wisdom needed for your rebirth. Allow your fingers to gently brush against the spines of the books. Each touch sparks a connection with a different part of your life. Feel the warmth and energy flowing through you from each book. Your hand slowly guides you to discover a neglected book at the very end of the shelf. It is covered in a thin layer of dust. With a curious heart, you reach for this book and you see that the title reads, Shadows. And as you hold it in your hands, you feel a surge of energy. This book represents the shadows of your past,
the challenges, the lessons, and the growth that came from these moments. As you stand holding this book in your hands, take a deep breath. Inhale the courage to confront the shadows of your past, and exhale with the willingness to let go. Gently now, open the book, and as the pages unfold, witness the scenes of your life playing before you. Allow the shadows of these situations, people, pains, memories, and experiences to rise to the surface. With each breath, know that you are held in a space of compassion and love. It is completely safe for you to feel and release the emotions that have lived here in the shadows. Feel the weight of these old stories like heavy bags you have carried for far too long. And as you release the emotions, you can feel the energy and movement within you. With your exhale, sense the freedom as these stories begin to unravel. You are now creating space for profound wisdom and healing. In the shadows, you find not only your challenges, but your resilience, your strength, and growth. Let this wash over you, soothing your soul. With the book still in your hands, make a conscious decision to release these old stories that have held you back. Inhale the freedom that comes with letting go, and exhale any lingering attachments. You are not defined by your past, and you are now creating a new narrative. As you close the book, feel a lightness within you. This, my love, is the sensation of shedding the weight of old narratives. In your mind's eye, a new book appears on the shelf. It is bound with gold thread, and the pages seem to be radiating with light. As you reach for this book, you read the title, My Highest Timeline. The shadows have served their purpose, and now with an open heart, you can step into the light of your highest timeline. Holding this book, you feel the energy of possibility and transformation surrounding you. You can feel the medicine of your past experiences and the freedom from releasing the old stories. In your heart, acknowledge the courage that it took for you to explore these shadows today, to release the old stories and embrace the medicine within. You can energetically feel the pages within, writing and creating a new chapter, one guided by the medicine within. I invite you to carry this book with you as a reminder of the endless possibilities. Take a nice deep breath in. It is time now to travel back, to leave this magnificent library, but to take with you the lessons and medicine from your book of shadows, to bring with you a new sense of empowerment as you step into your highest timeline. Inhale deeply feeling lighter. Become aware of the sounds and scents that surround you. Gently bringing your attention to your body, inviting movement in your fingers and toes, and gently opening your eyes. I invite you now to take some time with your journal to write the first entry of your book, My Highest Timeline, grounding you in the present with openness and childlike imagination as you explore life in your highest timeline.
Welcome back, my friends.
Thank you, Trish. That was beautiful.
My honor. Thank you, everyone. And since we're in this kind of dreamy state right now, I think it's a good time for us to wrap things up with a reminder of how incredibly powerful each and every one of you are and how we shine brighter together. So embracing this beautiful community, I am so grateful that each and every one of you took the time to be with us today. And for each and every one of you who listened to the replay, thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel you. I love you.
Yes. I just want to let you guys know you're all so beautiful. It fills me with tears because I can see your souls. And I'm so honored to watch all of you unfold into the truth of who you are and embrace your higher selves. And those of you who know me in session know that I cry a lot because energies are always moving through me. But it's a compliment and it's with love for each and every one of you. And just keep allowing yourself to surrender into the truth of who you are and allow this rebirth process to reveal to you your higher self and let those programs go. That's all they were, is programs. This whole world is made up. The truth is what's in here. And that's what you got to get to. And that's what's going to get you connected to up there. And that's what all the pain is really about. So let the pain move through you. Reach out when you need to. Trish and I are both here to help you. We've got the community support, donation-based coming online within the next week or so. That will be posted on both of our pages, in which case you'll be able to also reach out to one another and really be there for each other and create a family and have an ascension buddy. Ascension buddies are key. So
Yeah, even
love
if
to
it's
each and every one of you.
Yeah, exactly. Asking someone to share a vision with you, right? If you're struggling, if you're moving through something, to be able to say to our community, Krystina and I have this vision. It's like, go Team Earth. It's not about Krystina. It's not about me. It's not about each and every one of you, but together we have so much power. So we really want to bring everyone together. We will be reaching out to you this week to give you information about the community base. And with that, I send you off with so much love. Thank you, Krystina. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Love to all of you.